Hello, my name is Scott Perry. I'm a professional magician and this is a magic review. It's a kind of magic. Today we are looking at Propdog.co.uk's very own personalized close-up pads. So the pad in particular that we are looking at today is the hard-backed custom printed pad. As you can see, it's very nice, it's very good quality. These cost about £100. I don't know if that's the price of every single pad, but that's the price of this sized pad. You have maybe 30 different colors to choose from, and I think you have maybe 10 different colors for the back as well. So the pad itself, you can see just here, there are a couple of wrinkles, but they do just brush out nicely. This may just be with this particular velvet, that I think it's velvet. It may be the alternative that they have. They have two options. You can have velvet and you can have another one that escapes me right now, but there are two different options for the material that you have the pad covered in. One has a nap and one doesn't. And what I mean by a nap is if you rub your hand one way, so this one I don't think will be the velvet one, because on velvet, when you rub your hand one way, it kind of changes color. It gets either a lighter or a darker shade. And then when you rub it in the other way, it becomes the opposite. So if it became dark before, it then goes back to light. Has that kind of nap to it. All velvets have this, this nap. Some of them more extreme than others. But it's quite well cushioned. If you're going to plan on using this mat for mucking, then card mucking that is, you'll have no problem using it. It's very nice for that. You can have it printed basically anywhere you want. Dave and the team at Propdog are very, very good at facilitating the design process. So if you don't know how to use Photoshop very well, or if you're not able to provide a good quality image for your artwork that you want printed on here, then they can mock it up, they can do a design for you. They're very, very good with the service in that. All they ask is that you provide them with a very good drawing or a very detailed description or the font that you want, specifics in what you want, and they will take care of it if you're not able to produce a image that they can use. So they'll do that for you. From what I understand, it doesn't cost any more for them to do that. They just do it because they are the greatest magic shop on the planet. This one is the grey. I don't remember if it's light grey or just grey. But you can see it is a light grey color, has the printing on the front here. The printing is really nice. This one feels like it's actually printed into the material. Could be laser etched or inked into it. I don't know how they do it, but this isn't like vinyl put on top of this that eventually is going to peel off. It's not that material. You're not going to have to worry. You know, you buy clothes sometimes and they have a great design on, and then once you wash them 10 or 20 times, the design, the vinyl starts to peel off and you're only left with half of the logo, that kind of thing. This isn't that material. So it's completely flat. It's printed directly on to the material that you choose. They have a lot of different colors in terms of the printing. The printing is very high quality. If you have a really colorful design, then you can have a great deal of detail and vibrancy in the print that they do. So that's always really nice that you know for £100, that's all this is for a custom close-up pad. If you had said that in the magic industry 10 years ago, people would have laughed at you that you could produce one of these to this standard for £100 that's custom printed. So yes, very nice. The cushioning, the way it's made is very nice. It's quite light. You could absolutely take this to a show, take it to a gig. Obviously not a walk-around gig, but if you had a table or a static performance, they work perfect for that. The back, there are a few different options. I do not remember exactly which material this is, but I'll give you a close-up on it so that you can see really well in detail. You could definitely do basically anything that you can think of on this side of the mat. It's not completely smooth and slippery, but it also doesn't have a sticky texture to it either. It's just kind of a textured surface, almost like an ostrich skin or something like that. But it is a faux material, so it's not an animal skin, if that's something that you're worried about when purchasing these kinds of products. But I think you could get away with die stacking on this. I don't see a problem. There's not so much friction on the material that dice would stick to it. So I'm pretty sure you could do that. I'm pretty sure that you could use this for absolutely anything. Cups and balls, dice stacking, any kind of 3-shell game, anything like that, it will work absolutely perfectly. So this is what you get from Propdog for £100, and the fact that it's custom is amazing. However, we're going to come over to this one, which I purchased from dananddave.com, I believe. You can't purchase these anymore. They do have a newer version, but this was the original vintage pad that dananddave.com produced. So dananddave.com has now changed to a different website. It's not an e-commerce shop anymore. It doesn't trade in magic tricks or magic props or cardistry. All of that's moved over to Art of Play and another website, I believe, that I forget the name of. All of these details and links to the websites will be in the description below. But this was the vintage close-up pad that I bought 10 years ago. It comes in this kind of waxed sleeve. So the sleeve is a very rugged material. It protects the pad very well, and it has a stud, magnetic stud, to keep it closed as well, which is a nice touch. You remove it, and you can instantly see that there is a difference in the quality between the two. You can see also that the vintage pad is slightly larger. I'll put them on top so that you can see. Slightly larger than this, which I believe is the medium-sized pad from Propdog. But this is a premium Italian leather. And at this point, I should point out to you that the difference in the price between Dan and Dave's vintage pad, which you still can buy a newer version that has a wooden edge around it, in comparison to this costs £100 and you can have it custom printed. This one, there was never an option to custom print it, and it cost about £250. So significantly more money than the option that Propdog give you. Also, you'll see on this pad, hopefully through the camera, that the velvet on this one, you brush it one way and it's darker, and then you can kind of change the nap as you're brushing it, and certain points get darker. There we go. Hopefully you'll be able to see that's much darker there, and then when I brush that way, it becomes much lighter. So this is the nap that I was talking about before. And actually, my one arrived damaged. The velvet on this pad actually was not very good when it arrived. It was somewhat damaged, or at least the quality of this wasn't very good, which is not what you want when you spend £250. But I remember the customer service from Dan and Dave was very good. They refunded me because of all of this, almost like glue has gotten on, or gotten on the velvet, or it's been very worn. So maybe it was a piece of velvet at the end of the roll of the material. I don't know, but that is not what you expect to have marks on it like this when you spend £250. Like I say, the customer service was very good. They did refund me for it. But there is a significant difference in the quality of this velvet compared to this velvet from Propdog, and the premium Italian leather hardback, which is it's a lot harder. There's not as much cushion on this as there is on the Propdog pad. So you have a little bit more soft cushion to play with on this one. And this one is completely hard. Underneath this leather, there is probably a piece of hard wood. So it will make some things easier and some things more difficult. Some things the Propdog pad will be much better for because it is softer to the touch and it is a little bit squishier. However, the price difference is enormous. You can't, like I say, you can't buy these anymore, but you can buy a newer version of them that are mounted in a wooden frame almost, which are roughly the same, maybe 250, 300 pounds. But I think what has happened here is there has been a gap in the market. This is a luxury item. It's very expensive. It's meant to be the designer of magic, whereas this is meant for people who are working magicians. So if you have a show, well, it depends. I was going to say, if you have a show, then this pad from Propdog is the one to go for. However, if you have a show at a 5-star hotel or somewhere very luxurious, it could be worth considering a considerably more expensive option. That being said, they both have good places in the market. You cannot print on the one from Dan and Dave and Art of Play. You can print anything you want in very high quality from propdog.co.uk, and it's a considerably cheaper option, especially if you live outside of the US. So with the shipping on these pads from Art of Play or dananddave.com, I forget where their retail space for these products are now. So if you live outside of the US, you can buy 3 or even 4 of these pads custom printed from Propdog for the same price that you'll get 1 of these for. So I guess it depends what you want. They are both very good options. They are both perfectly good quality for any kind of performance. If you are looking for a hard-backed close-up pad that you can have your logo on, that you can have your name on, that you can take to wedding exhibitions, wedding shows, wedding fairs, corporate shows, on a trade show stand, anything like that, then I would recommend, at the very least, starting off with getting one printed by propdog.co.uk. They're very good with the service with it. It's a very good, high-quality product, and it's going to last you a very long time as well. That's pretty much my review / comparison from the Propdog hard-backed close-up pad and the vintage pad. I hope that this has been useful and informative. These are very long-term decisions that you need to make when you're investing in these kinds of things as a magician. You don't want to be buying, 5 of these a year. These should be something that you think a little bit about, you have something printed on it, you're happy with, and then you can use it for a very long time. That being said, and the special thing about these is over time, as they start to wear in, when they do get marks, when they do develop a little bit of character, not dirty, but character, they start to look really nice. So they are lifelong investments as a magician. I would recommend, if you're looking for a close-up pad, go to propdog.co.uk or send them an email. The team are really brilliant. They do also the fold-up mats, with the latex, the kind of rubberized back on one side. They also do circular, they do custom pads. They have a brilliant range of pads available for any magician who's looking for any kind of custom shape, normal shape, or custom printed pad. That's it for today. Close-up pads galore. Let me know what you think. Is there anything I missed off from the review? Hit the like button and everything. As always, I would really appreciate your support on this channel. If there's anything that I didn't answer, leave a comment below and I'll answer it as well as I possibly can. And I'll see you in the next video where I'll be using this wonderful pad from Propdog. I'll see you then.